Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another edition of the Playmakers Abroad podcast. This is the NFL edition, and we got a lot to talk about today. To the left of me is Dallas. Glenn, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing surprisingly well, all things considered.
That's very surprising. Because in today's episode, we're going to recap what happened with Jacksonville and everything that's going on with Jacksonville. We're going to recap what happened with the Rams and the Saints. And then we're going to switch into the quarterbacks because something happened to the Saints and somebody else in Pittsburgh. And we're going to talk about history being made in the NFL as week 3 is ahead. And we're going to talk about some games in week 3. So, without further ado, Dallas, if you don't mind, you can go right ahead and get us started about your Jaguars.
I mean, bro, are you positive? Because you guys had a lot less news. Are you sure you want to just sandwich your time in? Because to open up with what's going on in Jacksonville, it's like having an elephant walk in a room full of china.
Yeah, but once I get done with talking about what happened with the Rams, it's an easy transition to the topic of the day.
Okay. I see what you mean. Yeah. So Jalen Ramsey is going to get traded. I mean, there's other stuff we could talk about, but I mean, let's just get to it, bro. We're about to trade the best player in this generation as far as our franchise is concerned. Like after the 2017 season, we took Calais' option after he restructured it a little bit. We restructured Marcel Darius' contract. We released Malik Jackson. We played hardball with Yannick. And now Yannick is, dealing with a hamstring injury, which can mean so many things if you look at the Le'Veon Bell scenario. AJ Boyes, he came in on a big free agent contract. He's been getting torched in the zone scheme. We let Barry Church go. We let Deshaun Gibson go. Trying to think of the linebackers. Paul Posluszny retired. Telvin Smith retired. And after all of that, we're going to trade Jalen Ramsey, but we paid Miles Jack. So, I mean, I don't think anybody – there was only one offensive player from the 2017 season who deserved any credit, any retention, and that's actually Leo. Some people will say, well, what about Brandon Linder? He was on that team. Yeah, he was. But Brandon Linder is a center that can't stay healthy. Brandon Linder is the anchor of an offensive line right now that can't open any holes for a north-south power back from the 80s. So when you really look at it, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the only player from the offense, because I think Brandon Linder got his contract before the 2017 season. So the only player from that season that was worth anything on offense got his guarantees taken away after last year because he got suspended for the Buffalo game. Like, the fact that Jalen Ramsey, who has never been voted as a team captain, is the best player on this team, the most famous player this market has ever seen, wants out before the first month of the season is over. You could only chalk it up to the front office. Like, nobody pays attention to the Jaguars, Darnell. So if you have any, actual questions, cool. But your analysis is probably going to be a little bit off because, to be fair, nobody pays attention to us, so nobody's really going to know, what the real issue of this is, except for people who unfortunately have the duty to beat report the Jacksonville Jaguars.
So, the thing with Jalen Ramsey, the whole thing with him and Coach Marone going up on the sideline because he wanted the coach to challenge was it a pass interference call that was made against him?
Nah, he thought DeAndre Hopkins dropped the first down, but when it was on the replay, DeAndre Hopkins actually caught it. He pinned it between his elbow and his oblique. Jalen thought the ball hit the ground and he dropped it. But from the booth and the announcers on CBS, it was a catch.
So he's mad.
Jalen wanted Doug Marone to challenge if DeAndre Hopkins of all wide receivers dropped a pass.
And from what you're saying is if Doug Marone would have listened, he would have lost a timeout.
Exactly, which, with the way that game was going, we only lost by a point. And we would have went to overtime if we didn't go for 2. So the timeouts were crucial.
All right, so now we get that out of the way. Houston beat Jacksonville 13-12. Gardner Minshew did his part. 23 for 33, 213, and a touchdown.
Mm-hmm.
And Ricky came in and he gave Jacksonville every opportunity to win. My problem is that was just a 2-point conversion call.
Oh, dude, that's everybody's problem. It was a little bit confusion. And here's what I love about the Jacksonville Jaguars front office and coaching staff. On the Monday, how every franchise has local news and media and TV and stuff. So on the local show, I think it was called Drive Time, DeFilippo, the offensive coordinator, actually said that they did put the play in Minshew's hands. It was an RPO. So I was like, dude, wait a minute, hold on. You're going to put a 6th-round rookie who just drove down the field twice to score. You're going to give him an RPO on a 2-point conversion play that can win the game and put you 1-1 on the season instead of 0-2. You're going to give a 6th-round rookie who you shackled all game because you wanted to protect him and only let him lose those final 2 drives. You're going to wait until the very end of the game to finally say, oh, yep, you got it. They say it was an RPO, Darnell. But, I mean, let's really look at it here. This is a front office who refuses to admit that they're wrong. This is a coaching staff that refuses to think that their philosophy is probably not going to work in the 2019 NFL. I see Leonard Fournette getting the ball for a 2-yard dive play to win the game. On Monday, they're saying it was an RPO where there was an option to check and throw a route. Bullshit. You're going to throw your 6th-round rookie quarterback under the bus because you called a fucking dive at a shotgun and say it was an RPO. Really? You're really going to do that? The great DeFilippo, that was Nick Foles' coach when they won the Super Bowl, that was on the Vikings last year but got fired because, ironically, he didn't run the ball enough. You're going to say it was an RPO.
So, Jacksonville is 0-2 with a divisional loss, and we'll get back to Jacksonville because they opened up 3 slate of football.
This is true.
So we'll get back to them shortly. Now let's go on to my Los Angeles Rams. It was the America's Game of the Week on Fox. It was the rematch of the NFC Championship game. A rematch that everybody's looking forward to because of the non-pass interference call on Nikhil Roby-Coleman on, I think it was Tommy Lee Lewis. Drew Brees and the Saints come rolling into the Coliseum. And this first half was pretty much dreadful. Defensive battle. 6-3 was the halftime lead. One problem was Aaron Donald had ran out with a lower back injury for a while, but he came back. But the biggest problem was Drew Brees was knocked out of the game.
Yeah.
And Teddy Bridgewater had to come in. And in the second half, the Saints offense was not the Saints offense. And the Rams offense started to look a little bit more like the Rams offense. Not completely like the Rams offense, but a little more like the Rams offense. And the tune of outscoring the Saints 21-6 in the second half, thus beating the New Orleans Saints 27-9. Now, Jared Goff was 19 for 28, 283, and a touchdown. Todd Gurley, 16 carries, 63 yards, and a touchdown. Cooper Kupp, 5 receptions, 120. You see why having Cooper Kupp back is so helpful right now. But on the flip side, Teddy Bridgewater came in, had it rough. It was rough for Teddy Bridgewater. But I'll get more into the Saints offense once Dallas says what he needs to say about this game, and we get into our topic of the day.
The irony is not lost on me that Aaron Donald was the one that was, on the play where Drew Brees got hurt. You can list off all the offensive stats that you want. As long as Aaron Donald's around, that team is gonna be okay. Like I said, dude, you guys gave Jared Goff the money, and he had a good day. Like, he looked good. I was able to see some of that game. And Jared Goff played quarterback very well that game. He looks good. It's just at the same time, like, you guys have a weapon-filled offense. And even though it really doesn't look like it, when you see the stat sheet and everything, it's a West Coast offense. I trust and believe that the backup quarterbacks that you guys kept could run that offense efficiently. Could they be as good as Jared Goff is? No, but they can still run it efficiently. My thing is, Aaron Donald basically came in and gave you guys the game in one play, because the drop-off from Drew Brees to Teddy Bridgewater, dude, even as a Rams fan, you have to be unbiased for a second and admit, dude, it was like they were sitting ducks out there. When Teddy Bridgewater came into the game, it was he didn't feed the ball to Michael Thomas. He didn't try to feed the ball to Kamara. Like, he was basically running the offense. He wasn't doing any of the things that the Saints usually do to win games. The Saints made it to the NFC Championship game last year with like a 90-target difference between Michael Thomas and the next closest dude. The Saints made it to the NFC Championship game last year with Alvin Kamara basically being the second wide receiver on that team. I can't remember how many times Teddy Bridgewater actually targeted those dudes. He was actually just running the plays as they're supposed to be ran instead of trying to find his weapons. And I know that he came in relief, but that's not
Michael Thomas had 10 receptions.
He had 10 receptions, but let's see, when did Drew Brees get hurt? Second quarter?
Drew Brees got hurt, I want to say, actually, I think it was the first quarter.
Damn. Well, I mean, hey.
Yeah, because Drew Brees only threw 5 passes, so it had to be in the first quarter.
And Michael Thomas, that's what they're going to have to do then. So that means that Michael Thomas did get the majority of receptions. But the sad thing is that he should have got more.
He had 13 receptions. The next closest person was Jared Cook with 7.
Nah, he had 10. Are you looking at?
He had 10 targets. I mean, he had 13 targets. The next closest person was Jared Cook with 7 targets.
Well, if Jared Cook is second, look, all I'm saying is this, dude, and this is what's going to have to happen going forward. Jared Cook should not be second on the team in targets, and he should not be only 6 targets away from Michael Thomas. If you're going to win games and compete while Drew Brees is down, Jared Cook is not a guy who should be high up on the targets. If he shows up, that's cool, because backup quarterbacks like tight ends. They're reliable. They're possession targets. But you have a $100 million man out there who has been getting force-fed the ball by one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL that defensive coordinators always scheme for. That man finds a way to get double-digit receptions every game when everybody knows he's going to get the ball. Why are you throwing to Jared Cook so much? How many targets did Kamara get?
Kamara only had 3 targets. He had 1 catch for 15 yards.
How many rushing attempts did he get?
Kamara had 13 rushing attempts for 45.
Okay, so
Pretty much when Drew Brees went out, Ray Fiddle said, "You know what? Let's go get Kamara."
And that's fine, but see, if Teddy Bridgewater tapped into those moments in Minnesota when he was the starter, oh, okay, they're going to key in on my receiving back. Wade Phillips, the all-knowing Wade Phillips, the great Wade Phillips, is going to key in on a receiving back when the $100 million man is on the outside who just gets double-digit receptions no matter what. Look, the long-term plan can't be for Michael Thomas to have 18 receptions every game. But the short-term plan is. Because if the rest of the NFL, when they play the Saints, are going to say, we're taking away Kamara, and Michael Thomas just got $100 million and had 120 receptions last year, that's easy money. It should be easy money. But we'll see. A week of preparation, installing new plays, taking out some plays that Teddy can't do like Brees can do. Maybe just having to run some different route patterns, just scheme Michael open more. we'll see, because, this is the time where that money, that's when it's time to cash in, Darnell. Because Drew Brees wasn't going to be there forever anyway. Michael Thomas is going to be there after Drew Brees, same with Kamara.
All right, then. So let's go ahead and get into our topic, because going right back to Drew Brees, because Drew Brees was injured. He's supposed to have surgery, and he's expected. There's no official word, but he's expected to miss the next 6 games. He's supposed to be out for the next 6 weeks. On the other side, I think we lost our LC North champions on that pick, because Ben Roethlisberger suffered an elbow injury against the Seattle Seahawks, and he is done for the season. So the keys have been given to Mason Rudolph. Now, our poll of the day on social media was on Facebook. Should I say not on social media, but on Facebook, was which team will suffer more without their quarterback? Will it be the Saints without Brees for the next 6 games, or will it be Pittsburgh without Ben for the rest of the season? And, a couple of other people threw in the Jaguars, the Dolphins, and the Redskins. So, but out of 100 total votes, 47 went to Pittsburgh and 44 went to the Saints.
Okay. Well, obviously, when you ask the question like that, because they're losing their quarterback for the season. Dunzo. There is no late season push in the hero ball. There is no, ironically, a Nick Foles situation. Like, Big Ben is done. And you traded away Josh Dobbs, who's actually been with that franchise for a couple of years and should know the offense by now. I mean, you trade him away literally a couple of days before that injury happens. Now they're trying to scramble. I think they maybe signed Paxton Lynch. I know they brought in Paxton Lynch for a workout, but they're scrambling just to find a backup. The backup they want, they can't even get because he's contracted with the XFL. So that's crazy, catastrophic what the hell scenario where it's like Mike Tomlin's not going to say it in front of the media, but their season is fairly done. Because if you look at the New York Jets situation, even though we're talking about the fall, if you look at the New York Jets situation, it can get worse. It can get worse. And if you're losing your franchise quarterback, trust me, I am from a fan base that would know. When you're losing your starting quarterback before the first month of the season is over, that is a lot of snaps that backup has to take. The same snaps that the franchise quarterback was going to take. The same snaps that every quarterback has to take. I mean, shoot, Patrick Mahomes during the Jaguars game, as much as the defense did not show up, they had Patrick Mahomes limping a little bit. I'm trying to figure out, Darnell, the bigger picture of all this. This year has been weird as far as the drama and injuries, but the rules committee implemented the review of pass interference calls after the NFC Championship game. Now, Darnell, how many pass interference calls, good or bad, have changed games and changed finishes in the last minute over the 100 years of the NFL? One play in one game finally made the NFL realize maybe they're not always getting pass interference calls right. Dude, what are they going to do at the end of this season when all of these star quarterbacks, which means all the ratings and all the revenue, got hurt? Can't market Nick Foles for 11 weeks. Can't market Drew Brees for 6 weeks. Can't market Ben Roethlisberger for the rest of the season. Starting to wonder because that KC offensive line has been kind of They were better against Oakland because all they did was pass against Oakland. But, I mean, dude, if quarterbacks keep going down, if you keep seeing bad and gruesome situations like Alex Smith last year and Trevor Siemian this past Monday, the rules are already made to where you can't play defense, dude.
Not to mention Cam Newton may not make it to Sunday.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Cam Newton, dude. Cam Newton threw 51 passes for 333 yards and not a single score. Once again, by the way, quick side note, Darnell. Ron Rivera might be the most protected head coach in the NFL. He is the only head coach that repeatedly makes these same mistakes and we don't say anything. Cam Newton is coming into this season with a hurt shoulder. Cam Newton is coming into this season coming off of surgery and banged up. Why is he throwing 51 pass attempts in the second game of the season? Why are you still predicated off of Cam Newton? Why is Cam Newton still your engine when he came into the season hurt?
Yeah. So you say Pittsburgh. I'm looking at it from the Saints' point of view.
But it's 6 weeks, Darnell. Darnell, it's 6 weeks.
It's 6 weeks. I get that. But Tampa Bay beat Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
And the Falcons beat the Eagles.
Mm-hmm.
That boy Julio Jones is finna get off. It's starting to get off.
And we know what happens when Julio Jones starts to get hot.
So the question for me is, and the reason why I'm looking at the Saints is, can Bridgewater or Taysom Hill, because they haven't really said who will be the starting quarterback going forward.
Which is very interesting. Very interesting.
Can they keep the Saints afloat if the Falcons get hot?
So, okay. I'm gonna ask you 2 questions. One is a clarification question, then 2 is a sub question. To clarify, your position is coming from, will they be too far back in their division without Drew Brees in comparison to Pittsburgh, right?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have their schedule in front of you?
No, I don't, but I can pull it up.
All right, I'm gonna pull it up too. Sorry, folks. We need to slow down this pace real quick because I know what you're trying to do, Darnell, but you have to make sure you do it right. They play the Seahawks Sunday, Cowboys 29th, Buccaneers the 6th of October, Jaguars 13th of October, Bears 20th of October, Cardinals 27th of October. Then the first game we could even start thinking of Drew Brees maybe being back. You go Falcons, Saints, Panthers, Falcons. You get into the thick of it, the divisional rush. But Drew Brees is supposed to be coming back by then. So over the next 6 games, they're only playing a divisional opponent once. Now, they are playing some tough games, though. The only breather, and it might not even be a breather, because Cliff Kingsbury and Kyler Murray might figure it out. The only breather that you're truly looking at is Jacksonville or Arizona. And both teams have young quarterbacks that seem to be figuring it out. So they might not be walkthroughs. But as far as getting behind in the division, again, Drew Brees should be coming back when they go to 4 straight divisional games. How many snaps did Mason Rudolph take in the preseason? We know what we're getting with Teddy Bridgewater. This man played a playoff game. Taysom Hill, he's shown himself to be so versatile. As long as he could throw it up in the vicinity of Michael Thomas and could check it down to Kamara, they could probably be okay. Not great, not good. Not even 3-3, but okay. They could catch 2 maybe at worst with either of those quarterbacks. Bro, Pittsburgh's season is done. Getting behind in the division, dude, they have Baltimore in that division. Forget Lamar Jackson, what he's doing right now. The defense of Baltimore. Andy Dalton and Zach Taylor, they look like they have potential. Hell, Cleveland, they're going to have to keep up with Cleveland. That defense looked great against the Jets, but who did the Jets have on offense? I wonder about the consistency of the Cleveland offense, but I do know that the Cleveland offense will do its job. Is Mason Rudolph going to be able to score the 22 points that they need to win, though?
Okay, so, it's interesting because, most people, and me and you did the same thing. We picked the Saints to win in the division. We picked them, it's the Saints. They got Drew Brees. They got all this talent. Now the door has opened for the Falcons.
Yeah, I mean, and with the way that Bruce Arians coaches his offenses, the door is open for the Bucs too because their defense looks to be wildly better. They've always had the defensive talent, but they didn't have the defensive coordinators to put it together. Todd Bowles seems to look like he knows what he's doing over there.
So the Falcons are at the coast Sunday. They play Tennessee after that. Houston after that. They are at Houston after that. At the Cardinals. Home to the Rams. And home to the Seattle. Those are the next 6 games. And go back and read off the next 6 games for the Saints.
All right, hold up. Seahawks, Cowboys, Bucks, Jags, Bears, Cardinals.
Oof.
The Bears and Cowboys game, maybe even the Seahawks game, those 3, those are L's. The defenses. And the Cowboys are going to be able to close out the game. Chris Carson's actually an underrated back too. Chris Carson, Ezekiel Elliott, they're going to be able to close out the game. The Bears, if they keep trying to do this, rotating backfield and not choosing who their feature back is going to be to help Mitchell Trubisky actually sell the play action, they should win because of their defense. But again, will they be able to close it out? But I mean, they could go 3-3, at worst 2-4. I honestly feel like the Saints, all things considered, with the way that the Jaguars are going and with the inconsistency that Arizona Cardinals team is showing, those should be the 2 games that they walk out like, okay, we're behind it, but because they'd be like, what, 3-5? 3-5 is bad. 3-5 is like pretty rough. But if you're talking about Drew Brees, it's a hand injury. It's not a major injury. It's a hand injury on his throwing hand. That's a big deal, Darnell, but think about it. Drew Brees isn't getting any younger. We're talking about him healing from hand surgery rather than a leg or a lung or a rib. Drew Brees' body is going to be getting 6 weeks of rest, 6 weeks of not getting hit while his hand heals. We're talking maybe 10-6, 11-5, because when Drew Brees is on the field, we don't expect the Saints to lose a lot of games.
So the question becomes, would they be able to catch a wild card? Because we're talking about the NFC.
I don't think 9-7 is going to catch it. I think they have to at least go 10-6, which means that if they come back 3-5, if Drew Brees comes back to a 3-5 team, that means that he has to go 7-1. We're basically asking, can Drew Brees go 7-1? That means that everybody else has to stay healthy too. Andrews Preet got shooken up. Teron Armstead's had trouble staying healthy for a whole season. Kamara, he's going to get a lot more activity. He's deceptive in size. He's bigger than he looks on TV, but is he going to handle that wear and tear? It's a lot of things have to go right because 9-7 is probably not going to do it because we already know Seattle's going to be a wild card team. They're probably going to have 10 wins. One of the NFC North teams could be a wild card team. They're going to have 10 wins. So we're looking at 10-6. That's going to be tough. That's going to be tough, but I think there will be a chance.
So you say Pittsburgh is going to suffer more because Ben is gone.
Yeah, like what we just did just now, it's Drew Brees, and there is a legitimate chance that they can go 7-1 after Drew Brees gets 6 weeks of rest. With Mason Rudolph, if he looks terrible this week, we're talking about a dude's rookie season, effectively. We're talking about a dude's rookie season and taking his lumps as a first-year starter in the NFL. Dunzo. So
the Steelers are at the 49ers. Then they are home to the Bengals. And their first matchup with the Ravens. Then they are at the Chargers. That's a Sunday night game, but we'll see if it stays right there. And then they're Monday night against the Dolphins. Then the Colts.
And for the sake of it, because it seems like Bruce Arians was eager to work with Jameis, and he pretty much knows like what he's getting with Jameis, because when you know what you're getting with your quarterback, you basically know what to prepare for and how to scheme and blah, blah, blah. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers' next 6 games are the Giants, the Rams, the Saints, the Panthers, the Titans, and the Seahawks. So everybody in this conversation has a difficult next 6-game slate, but they also got games that they're supposed to catch. The Bucs, with the way their defense is looking and the fact that Jameis Winston is a veteran and Daniel Jones is getting his first start, the way these Bucs look this season, they should get the Giants. The Panthers, that situation's might get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. Cam Newton's, he's got that look in his eyes when he does the press conferences now, Darnell. I think you know which look I'm talking about. He's only 29, but so you don't know if Will Greer is going to be playing that game. And then the Titans are weird because, and we'll talk about it a little bit later, the Titans are stuck in the 80s just like the Jaguars. If you get up 14 by chance, you might be good. So the competition's pretty heavy. There's no real like easy schedule that anybody's got, which is surprising.
The Jets, they lost their backup quarterback for the rest of the season on Monday Night Football. So Luke Falk is the starting quarterback until Sam Darnold is cleared to come back
from mono kissing disease.
We're gonna wait on word on Cam Newton. But yeah, it's a lot of quarterbacks getting injured. So pray for your team, man. Pray for your teams.
Yeah, because just real quick, even though this is pre-recorded, as of right now, Cam Newton's status is like up in the air. That's what Tom Pelissero is reporting. Adam Schefter saying that Cam Newton informed the team of an aggravated foot injury after the loss last week, and they don't have a solid timeline for when he'll be able to play. So that might not even mean just this week. He didn't practice this morning, which is Wednesday the 18th. So this week is at least up in the air, which means that you have to assume that this is a Will Greer Carolina Panthers. And we'll have to see. But yeah, dude, like the theme of this season so far is with all these damn rules in place, more quarterbacks are getting hurt. And with the new CBA coming up, Darnell, the last CBA was supposed to help the players. But when the CBA first got interacted, what happened? Achilles injuries, ACL tears. You can't tell me that 27-year-old and 28-year-old men constantly pounding themselves in the summer is going to make it better and give them less of a chance to be injured. But I do know that this current system is working just as bad as the previous one.
All right, so closing out this quarterback conversation. Daniel Jones, you're getting your start, man. It is your team now.
Wow.
Now let's go into week 3. Before we get to talking about some games and picking, Dallas, history has been made in the NFL.
What happened?
There are 2 teams. They are favored by 21 or more points in their matchups.
Jesus Christ. Are they the Patriots and the Chiefs?
The New England Patriots are favored by 22.5 as the New York Jets with Luke Falk, their third-string cornerback, is coming to Foxborough.
Jesus.
So, and the over-under is 24 points. The over-under is 44.
Wait, you said 44?
44.
The over-under is 44 points, and they are a 20-plus point favorite?
Yeah. Right now it's 23. I'm looking on ESPN right now. It went up to 23.
So you mean wait a second. They're expecting the Jets to score 18? Yo, pay off the mortgage, folks. Take the points. Take the points. Do not pick this straight. They are please take the under. They are expecting that Jets team to put up 18 points against the New England Patriots that already have 2 defensive touchdowns this season. Time to pay off the mortgage, Darnell. Take the under.
Good luck to the Jets. The other team that's favored by 21 or more points is the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys. They are favored by 21.5 with the over-under of 46.5 as the Miami Dolphins are going into Jerry World. So it looks like Ryan Fitzpatrick is going to continue to struggle. That Prescott's still going to be throwing dimes. And Ezekiel Elliott still haven't gotten off yet.
That's the crazy thing. Like, Dak Prescott is playing for his money right now. So, Darnell, think about this right now. Jerry Jones knows the long game. We all know the long game with the Dallas Cowboys. I think we all know what's happening. Jerry Jones wants to pay Dak Prescott. He wants to. It's Stephen Jones that is being much more sensible. Stephen Jones over the offseason said he already offered Dak $30 million. But Dak wants like 34, 35. Jerry Jones probably wants to give it to him because he knows it's the NFL. He's a Hall of Fame owner. He knows that you need a quarterback to succeed in the NFL no matter what era or what offense you run. Dak Prescott's going off. Dak Prescott had like 269 last week, 405 to start the season. Jerry Jones is happy because if Dak Prescott turns the corner, if Dak Prescott can run Jason Garrett's version of the Air Coryell offense to Dan Fouts' levels of efficiency, that means late in the season when those defenses are worn down. That means late in the season when everybody's trying to make the wild card push. That means late in the season when everybody's questionable 2 days before the game. Zeke is fresh. Zeke is ready to go. And that line's just going to keep pushing and pushing and pushing and up-plowing. Like, bro, the fact that they're like 20-plus points favorites, and who are they playing again?
Miami.
No, granted, it's Miami. It's Miami. And them trading away Micah Fitzpatrick this particular week has a huge thing to do with it. But, bro, at the same time, like, Zeke's probably going to go off this game, but that's just because, like, the defense is going to be such a wet paper blanket. It's one of those things where in football, it is proper etiquette to run the ball between the tackles when you're up a certain amount of points. The sad thing is we're talking about Ezekiel Elliott running the ball between the tackles against the Miami Dolphins. So it's probably going to be, like, against what they're trying to do. But, hey, wow. It still surprises me, though. It's still the Cowboys we're talking about.
So that takes care of that. So let's go ahead. Let's get to these games. Are you ready?
Yep.
Go ahead and get us kicked off with Thursday Night Football.
All right. So Tennessee's going to Jacksonville. The last time Tennessee and Jacksonville played, Derrick Henry played some big boy football. Also, Jalen Ramsey flopped against Taylor Lewan because he was desperately trying to get us a penalty and get some kind of momentum going towards our side.
Does Jalen Ramsey play Thursday?
At the presser, he said that he thinks he's playing. Todd Walsh, for all, like, he never said anything against, but it's not Todd Walsh's or Jalen Ramsey's decision. As of right now, we don't know. Like, before we started recording, I was, like, refreshing Big Cat Country and Adam Schefter's Twitter feed and anything. Personally, because Big Cat Country reported that Friday is the date they're looking to move him. If you're looking to move him on Friday, you're basically talking about Jalen Ramsey's farewell game against his hometown team in the first quarter of the season, where he's probably going to want to go to a contender and you're trying to get 2 first-round picks for him. Business is business. I wouldn't play him. It's when you talk about the Tennessee Titans, you're talking about Delanie Walker. Delanie Walker and another young dude that they got, but hasn't really cracked the upper echelon yet. Delanie Walker has cracked that upper echelon of tight ends. Your linebacking core should be solid. Delanie Walker is not going to beat you deep a lot. If there's one game this season where Jalen Ramsey could be a healthy scratch, it's going to be this one, because it's really Derrick Henry you have to key in on. But to answer your question, I don't know. That's probably going to be later tonight after practice, where they announce that or not.
I'm picking Tennessee. For some reason, it's always week 3 when the Jaguars play Tennessee when everything goes away. So I'm going to go ahead and pick Tennessee.
I'm going to pick Jacksonville. And as a disclaimer, the only reason I'm picking Jacksonville because I picked Houston last week, didn't I?
No, you picked Jacksonville last week.
Well, okay. Well, this is the last 2 games. Go ahead.
Because you picked Jacksonville last week because you knew you had Houston that week, and you knew coming into this week it was Tennessee, and you knew Tennessee had to play in Indianapolis, so you went with Indianapolis to take down Tennessee. And it's in consequence, I'm going to take my Jaguars to help out. You got one of them right, the other one wrong.
Yeah, well, okay. I'll probably get this wrong, too. Because, to be honest, Darnell, just like last season, we called it in the preseason. Dude, just like last season, this is the last game worth picking when it comes to the Jaguars. And when we're talking about, the rankings and whatever, cool, yeah, I got to pick it because they might play somebody relevant. But, dude, if they don't win this game and then ship Jalen Ramsey out the next day, the season's a wrap. The locker room is just going to completely give up on this regime. And as Shad Khan said, if he keeps his word, this was a playoff year. This was a win or everybody is fired year. And in the first month, you're going to go 0-3 and trade away your best player. So this is the last game worth picking. So I'll pick the Jags just because the season's a wrap if they don't win.
All right. By the way, before I continue on, Dallas has a 3-game lead on me at 22-9-1, and I'm at 19-12, and that could help me. Let's go over to Kansas City, Missouri, shall we? Because Patrick Mahomes is home with a 2-0 record after beating Oakland the way that he always does. And this time we have a Baltimore Ravens team coming in as undefeated, and Lamar Jackson is slanging the ball around. Dallas is Lamar, and it's Pat down in KC.
Is also the Baltimore Ravens defense and the wet paper blanket that is the Kansas City Chiefs, who needs to go ahead and pay what they need to pay to get Jalen Ramsey. Because Lamar Jackson has turned some kind of corner. My God. What right now, with the young right tackle Orlando Brown, the walking Hall of Famer Marshall Yonda, the solid studs they got across the rest of their offensive line. Right now, what threat? Frank Clark is who you're going to say on paper. But, I mean, besides Frank Clark, what threat does the Kansas City defense have right now against Lamar Jackson?
You can say Frank Clark, but I'll throw Chris Jones in there. I'll throw him in there. He's a disruptor.
But, again, he's interior. The Ravens have a solid interior.
But then again, they do got Mark Ingram too, so.
Yeah, I mean, dude, they're not going to do what the Jags were doing, trying to be something they're not. When Nick Foles got hurt by Chris Jones, the team was trying to implement a new shotgun-heavy offense. The Baltimore Ravens know exactly who they are, and they know exactly how they want to use Lamar Jackson in certain scenarios. So Mark Ingram's going to wear them down first before the party really gets started. So, I mean, down the road, we don't expect anybody to go undefeated because we're still trying to figure out what's going to happen with Antonio Brown, and it's really hard to go 16-0. And with the referees, with all these new rule changes and trying to get stuff right and these bad calls and everything, so much stuff has to go right for you to go 16-0. So this probably the game the Kansas is going to lose.
KC is favored about 6.5. The over/under is 54.5.
I'm picking Baltimore. This when you look at Kansas City's schedule, there's not many games that they're supposed to lose. But at the same time, they're not going to go undefeated. Not with that defense.
He's going. Matter of fact, it's Kansas City home opener. I'm taking Kansas City. It's their first time being at home in front of that crowd. I'm definitely taking Kansas City.
Did being home help them in the AFC Championship game?
For some reason, it don't matter where you play them damn Patriots. Patriots find a way. Anybody else, it does matter, but them damn Patriots, it don't matter.
Here's an interesting thing of note because, Darnell, we're doing this for the love of the game. Some people, they try to pay the mortgages. Keep in mind, Kansas City is currently ranked 26th in the NFL in rushing. There is no balance to that offense. What you see is what you get. They are 20th in the league in passing yards allowed on defense, and they are 13th in the league in rushing yards at 105 allowed per game. They're allowing 367 total yards per game, but their scoring defense as of now, because, Patrick Mahomes is just leading these amazing drives, they're 9th. So for whatever reason, they're bending like hell, but they don't seem to be breaking. At the same time, they played the Raiders and the Jaguars. So that is going to change this week.
Now, the 4 o'clock games, I had a hard time picking which one to talk about because the injuries that have happened to the Saints and the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's So I had to pick. So I had to go deviate from my usual plan. So the Houston Texans after getting off the schneid and getting a victory over division rival Jacksonville. They are on the road. They're taking that West Coast trip to take on the Los Angeles Chargers, who is stacked with injuries as usual.
I feel for Chargers fans because, some Chargers fans are like, Jalen Ramsey is going to come to the Bolts and blah, 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 and him and Duran are going to get to play together. And it's like, damn, ain't Duran hurt too? Like, the Los Angeles Chargers will forever be a franchise that have a chance in the preseason than the season actually starts. It's still hilarious to me that Phillip Rivers had comments about Melvin Gordon's contract. And then before the season started, he said that they're going to wait to negotiate his contract until after.
Somehow the Chargers are favored by 3.5 after they got beat by Detroit. And the over-under is 47.5.
Brother, that team is built on its pass rush. It's Joey Bosa and Melvin Ingram, those bookends. That team is going to go where they go. Like, Phillip Rivers is still Phillip Rivers, a solid quarterback, but they just lost their tight end to the injured reserves. Like, God bless Keenan Allen, but as the Saints are learning, the business model of tossing it up to your number one receiver the same way you would hand off to a running back, it's kind of hard unless you have a truly dominant number one. Keenan Allen's great, but he's in nobody's best wide receiver conversation. So I don't know why they're favored. I mean, DeAndre Hopkins, who's the corner that's going to be covering him?
Casey Hayward.
Oh, sweet Jesus. Kenny Stills, for all things considered, he had a solid game. Willie Snead, he had a solid game. Like, Laramie Tunsil's coming to form. Their wide receiving core is starting to realize that they can't rely on D-Hop to catch every damn ball thrown to him. Once you get past the first level of the Chargers defense, which the Houston Texans offense will, you're pretty Gucci. You got as much of a chance as anybody else. So I'm picking Houston. I'm trying to figure out why. Is it because they're at home?
It has to be.
I hate picking a division rival, but when I just look at what I saw on Sunday and what I know the Jaguars are built to be, like, the Jaguars are sacrificially dedicated to defending the pass, more so than anybody else in the NFL. The Los Angeles Chargers, they are built on rushing the passer, which, I mean, they will. That line is terrible, but I'm talking so much because I'm just trying to figure out who the hell is favoring the Chargers over a team with a healthy quarterback right now.
I'm picking Houston.
J.J. Watt's healthy. Hop is healthy. Watson's healthy. Just Carlos Hyde had 90 yards last week. Ooh, okay.
I'm picking Houston and Sunday Night Football. The place to be is Cleveland, Ohio. The Dog Pound.
Wait, again?
Coming off their Monday night victory over the Jets, they are 1-1. Baker Mayfield and OBJ. Jarvis Landry, Lick Chubb. Miles Garrett on the defensive side.
Who are they playing? This must be a flex out. Did they flex this game out?
Nope. They are not flexing this game out.
No. Was this game flexed in, rather?
No, this was on the schedule from point.
Who are they playing?
Who's coming to the Dog Pound? The Los Angeles Rams, led by Sean McVay, Jared Goff, Todd Gurley, Aaron Donald, and the rest of the crew. Y'all know who I'm picking, so.
I guess I can't complain too much when the Jags and the Titans are playing a Thursday night game. But, I mean, Rams. Just look, Browns fans and the Browns coaching staff need to do whatever they can to hold Aaron Donald in check. Sue's in Tampa. Dante Fowler is basically being what he was when he was in Jacksonville.
Clay Matthews on the other side. Eric Rudder in the back. Oh, let's go. Oh, I'm looking forward to this. They only got us favored by 3 points with the over under 49.5.
While Clay Matthews is nobody to sneeze at, there's a reason why Green Bay didn't want to pay him. I'm much more worried about Aaron Donald. I will pick my poison with Clay Matthews with a mobile quarterback like Baker Mayfield and with all those receiving options to get the ball out quick to rather than Aaron Donald. Do not let Aaron Donald run free trying to pick up Clay Matthews' blitz. Because please let Clay Matthews drop back in coverage. At this point in his career, please let Clay Matthews drop back. If you're not sending him every time, Darnell, you have fun with that.
Oh, you thought that was something to be worried about. Monday Night Football. DC.
Oh,
Redskins.
Oh, Jesus.
The Redskins. Yeah, them Washington Redskins have a primetime game. They'll take out Mr. Trubisky. The running back by committee. Khalil Mack and those Bears. The Bears.
Wait. Trent Williams is still holding out, right?
I believe so.
First of all, guys, this is why you play left tackle. Don't get upset and offended when your coach tries to move you to the line because he has made a lot of money to still be holding out, and we have heard nothing from him at this point. 2, sweet Jesus. Donald Penn is not going to be able to handle Khalil Mack one-on-one. And I don't think they have any blocking tight ends.
No, Jordan Reed already dealing with a concussion.
Yeah, Vernon Davis is going to shatter like a glass pane if he has to block Khalil Mack. Ooh, Bears.
So there you have it. Those are the games we're going to talk about. I'm going to Tennessee. He's going to Jacksonville for Thursday night. I'm taking the home team in the Kansas City Chiefs. He's taking the Baltimore Ravens. We both going Houston. We both going LA Sunday night. We both going Chicago Monday night. The rest of our picks will be out there this weekend. You will get the whole tally of our picks. It'll be interesting to see Pittsburgh is at friend as I spoke earlier, and as that was spoken earlier, the Saints, whoever started at quarterback, is at Seattle. So check out the college podcast. I sent that one out pretty early this week just to see what's going to happen. And we did a lot of talking on that one. Check that out. No wrestling podcast this week. But a lot of wrestling stuff is going on, so you might want to find a way to catch up on all the wrestling stuff because when we do come back, we're going to talk about them all. So I will Hell in a Cell coming up. NXT is going live on the USA Network. The draft is the week after SmackDown goes on.
Draft should be. Okay, yeah, the draft is going to be the week after.
The week after. Big news. October 4th, you will see Brock Lesnar, Kofi Kingston, WWE Championship.
Yeah, so by the time the next episode is recorded, we wouldn't have seen that match. But we will basically know the build-up for it. Well, I mean, we might as well treat the SmackDown off. Well, no, TV doesn't usually give us cards like that. So. But yeah, we're going to figure it out because a lot of stuff is going to be happening and have happened by the next time we talk wrestling. So just buckle up.
So, Thursday night, Jacksonville's the spot to be. Jaguars, Tennessee. That kick comes off on week 3. They ended in D.C. on Monday Night Football with the Redskins and the Bears, and everything that happens in between on Sunday. So enjoy your NFL week, enjoy your football week, and it's me and Dallas. We signing off at the Playmakers Blog Podcast.
Fuck the Titans forever.
The podcast you just heard was made using Anchor. Ever thought about making your own podcast? Anchor makes it really easy for anyone to get started. It's a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing podcasts. Best of all, it's 100% free. Sign up now at anchor.fm/new. That's anchor.fm/new to get started.